So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I took a brief YouTube break because I was really busy and also just like figuring things out in life, you know. And so I'm back again. As usual, my channel is about celebrating the diversity of personality, and I also have a personality themed merch store that you can check it out in the description box below. And today we have Trevor here, a fellow INFJ, and he also has his own YouTube channel. So would you like to talk briefly about that?
Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, we talk a little bit about self-development and MBTI, so yeah, my channel is kind of similar to Tori's, so check it out. I already have a video on INFJ popularity. It was my own subjective experience with it, so there you go.
Okay, so yeah, today we are going to be talking about INFJs and popularity and kind of more on, I guess, both on the broader sense and also in like the subjective sense of our own experiences. And I think this is like a topic that is not like widely discussed when it comes to INFJs because there's like a stereotype of INFJs being like really unconcerned about popularity and just like being their own.
Like it was like really extreme depending on the clique that I was in. So it was like with one group of people, I would feel super popular, and the next group of people, I would feel like more of a wallflower. So like, have you had that experience too? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
Am I
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then
definitely. So I feel like INFJs go to very extreme because
yeah.
when I feel like I don't vibe, I guess, with some people, I just completely am unable to try. As in, I can try, but it will look really forced. And after a while, I would not want to try anymore. Whereas with people that I just naturally vibe with, it's like really fast. And usually I act like a totally different person when I'm with people that I vibe with. So
Yeah.
that is, yeah, it's like you see like a really, you see like two very different versions of me basically.
I have the same thing in my notes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, you can keep going. I was just saying, like, one INFJ is like super lively and like so vibrant and goofy, and we're like we can be the life of the party sometimes. And
the party,
yeah,
even though it's not like a huge party, but still.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and like okay, it's so interesting that you talk about compromising because okay, I'm so glad you said that because for me, if I tried to like force myself to fit in and compromise, it looks so forced that it doesn't work. Whereas like so many people will like fit in and conform, and then later you'll hear them be like, "Oh my gosh, like I hate like conforming," and like they're able to conform even though they hate it. Whereas I don't even have the option. Like,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
so, like that's a huge part of popularity because I can't mold myself the same way that other people can. I mold myself in different ways. So like I'm so glad you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels really like it's like, and I would try for like a very short period of time because just to like keep the harmony,
Yeah.
because we do have FE, so it's like we do value like harmony in general, at least
Mhm.
for either in a professional setting or in a school setting, wherever you are. But then
Mhm.
after a while, it just gets really exhausting. So we would just like stop trying. I mean, at least I would just like stop trying. And then after that, it would just be like, I would like either not communicate much because I really have nothing, there's just nothing in common to talk about, or I would just like throw out some things that they probably don't agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't vibe. So yeah, I'm definitely two very different people when I'm with different groups of people. So with people I guess I don't feel an immediate connection or I don't really vibe with. I can seem very like aloof or somehow like kind of not wanting to converse much like a typical
Mhm.
like introvert person. But then with people that I really do vibe with, I feel like INFJs have a very different side to them that they show to people who are close to them. So I feel like, at least for me, I say like very outrageous stuff with people I know,
Yes,
close, like
yes.
very outrageous. I feel like it's like the same level as ESTP almost. I mean,
I
not
was
like maybe not like every ESTP, but you know what I mean.
uh-huh. Okay, okay. Bring up yeah, okay. This is like where when we talk about this stuff of like forced conversation and forced interaction, this is all the stuff that I think we have in common with INTJs. Because like INTJs would say the same thing. So there are some INTJs and INFJs who can really mold themselves in this way, and then there are other INFJs and INTJs that I know that cannot mold themselves and like will not mold themselves, and it's like it's like we have such a small stamina for that amount, and it might be like if our NI really cannot feel stimulated, we can't deal with it. Like we or like as in we get so bored and so feeling like this conversation or these people are pointless that we have lose no interest. So like um I've never felt like the type of person where I've never felt like I've had the power to like say exactly what people want to hear and like manipulate them into liking me. I've never felt like I've been able to do that. Everyone does things like that sometimes, but like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's like this aversion to, or this being repelled by pointless conversation, I guess. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, and as a result of this, I feel like for INFJs, that's why it's very polarizing. Like we have people who just
mhm.
like us and people who just don't. And it's yeah, it's really depends on the kind of company that we find ourselves in. And and for people who I guess don't like us or don't know us well enough, they may not like ever see who we really are. So the version that they see is like the aloof version, which is not really what people know us to be when they really do know us in person.
Mhm. I think I've always felt like the people who are like repelled by me in some capacity, they can't understand me. And I think that so we always think of that as like we feel weird because we feel misunderstood or we feel like a wallflower. But what I think about, or what I've started thinking about when people can't understand me, is that it's not that they think I'm so weird. I've started to feel like people feel unsettled when they can't read you like like other people, because plug the INFJ stereotypes, like we're so rare, and so like people cannot read us the same way they read other people, and that can be, I think it's almost intimidating. Like this is kind of like I've started to like group like INFJs being intimidating and us being misunderstood, and then people unable to deal with us, like they just don't know what to make of us. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just the kind of society being not very used to introverted intuition in general as a leading function, because I think people who lead with introverted intuition is just seen as really unusual, since most of the time we see people leading with other functions. And even for myself, I don't really meet a lot of people leading with introvert intuition like on a daily basis. So I think for people who have never met or very rarely talked to someone who lead with this function, then it would be like a very, I guess, uncomfortable experience for
Yeah.
them, since they have never dealt with that in their life or something.
Hmm. Yeah, like when I had an INTJ best friend, and when I met her, I thought she was the most even-tempered, graceful, normal, like calm person ever, who was just the easiest person to talk. I was like, wow, this girl's so normal. And then like over the course of our relationship, we both discovered that like we lived these, she's an INTJ, I think I said that. And we both discovered that we lived these lives of like everyone always like unable to read us, always trying to tell us we're crazy, always trying to pin us as like make it out that we're like a narcissist or something crazy, like some sort of like obsessive, like trying to label us in some way. And it's like, yeah, people like, it's like people either can deal with it or they can't. So yeah, it's like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I have had like the other side. So like talking about the more positive experience, like I have had the other side of the spectrum where people just really like me upon the first meeting. And yeah, it's really like and it's kind of also a very diverse group of people. Like there can be like teachers sometimes, there can be like other students, and my friend group is pretty wide ranged. Like at least when I was studying in college, I would say that my friend group is pretty diverse. So like you see like very different personalities within that group, and they all are able to appreciate me for different reasons. But those people are also like, it's kind of like almost immediate, I think, the connection.
Yeah, you had like a gut like reaction, and y'all were like the Breakfast Club where everyone was so diverse. That's cool. Yeah, I had this. Yeah, I had this thing where like, and it was like kind of like sporadically throughout high school. I had a ton of friends and a ton of different cliques, but I didn't fit into any one clique. So I was like, people like you, if you saw me in one setting, you would think I was really popular. And if you saw me in another setting, you would see me like eating lunch in the bathroom, like some like this, like these extremes, like you're saying. But that's really interesting that y'all were all able to be in one group. Like, what was that? How did that function? Like, was that college or high school or?
I was in college, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I think for high school, it's more, I have a more similar experience as you. So yeah, it's like I don't really see myself. Okay, I do have like a few close friends, but beyond that, I don't really see myself as fitting completely, I guess, in one group or the other. But in college, it's like because people are just so free and easy anyway, and it's kind of I mean, I went to a school that was it's a very scattered experience anyway. Like we don't really have a clear building that is our school. We just have like random buildings in different parts of the city. So I think that experience is just makes people more, I guess, receptive to the idea of also not having a super centralized friend group, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, I went to community college, and so there was no dorms, and there was like no like none of, yeah, it's like not centralized like what you said, and people were so so friendly and so open to forming friend groups. I think when there is like a social order, then that's when people start getting really picky and like status obsessy like that. Like yeah, like because I was at community college, and then my next college was like huge music school, so like there was like music status. It was bizarre to me, but like yeah, they did it.
Every single group.
Yeah, like everyone has their friends, and I always grew up in band where like everyone in band was friends. Like why do we? I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't really like the rigid kind of environment. I prefer more like, you know, you are just free to be friends with whoever. And for me, I think that also, I guess like after I develop my later functions, my friend group become more diverse. So I'm not sure if you have the same experience, but for INFJs, we do have our weaker, so-called weaker functions, TI and SE. But I think throughout my teenagehood, I started developing TI because I was friends with a lot of NT people. And then after that in college, I started developing my extroverted sensing. And then I started becoming friends with like the party people. So I think it's like as you develop your later functions, you just hang out with more people because you are able to connect with people who are like not just the other INFJs or other INTJs, but you're able to connect with like other thinkers or other like even you know sensor types who are able to also be more balanced out in the process. So after that, my friend group just got really mixed because of that reason that I was developing my other functions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when I'm around SJs, especially with ISJs, it feels like I'm talking to like an INTJ or an INFJ. But like when I'm around ESJs, my most successful relationships with them occur when I am like in extroverted sensing. So I'm like around them. I find that I get my best feedback when I'm really in their face and really like forceful, and it feels mean to me, but they take it so well. They are like, it's like, yeah, they take it really well. They're like, they're not shaken by it. They're actually stimulated now by like this like superficial mean side, whereas
Maybe
before,
it's the TI. Maybe they really like your TI.
okay, I don't know, like
I feel ENFJs really like your TI. I don't know. I feel they like the direct communication style, but yeah.
you feel like what?
I feel
Uh,
like ESJs, especially
mhm,
ESFJs, they
mhm.
secretly really like the direct communication style.
Yeah, like an INTP who'd be like cracking the whip, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what I found, okay, what you said where your functions change your friend group. So didn't have the experience you were talking about, but what I've experienced is that when I'm in extroverted sensing, I know I'm in extroverted sensing because I feel like I can talk to anyone, and there's this like traveler adventurer like vibe that
Yeah,
I feel. Yeah, yeah. So it's like my INJ friends, which I don't have many of those anymore, but like with my INJ friends, it's like we were really, our socializing was focusing on each other. And then in extroverted sensing, it's like you are like trying to talk to everyone and
Mhm.
you're spreading yourself thin, and there's so many possibilities. So it's like you have like unlimited friends because like it feels like I ditch my tunnel vision limiting beliefs. And then
Mhm.
now I'm just happy and I can connect with anyone, which is like night extremes
Yeah,
again.
it's night and day. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I have random moments. Okay, it's funny. I'm gonna like talk about some random stuff,
Yeah.
but it's some links to popularity as well. Like I have like random extroverted sensing moments, and it's so funny when it happens. Like one time I actually talked to this guy in a bar, this like musician guy, which is a very fun story. But anyway, so like my friend was like, it's like a typical movie situation. My friend was like encouraging me, like go talk to him. Um, and it's like it's really like extrovert sensing, I swear. Like extrovert sensing gives me these random moments of like courage. And not just courage, but just like, oh, live in the moment, like I don't care what would happen next. It's that kind of feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yes, and it is when you start drinking. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know. For me, it's like if I touch alcohol, it's like the extroverted sensing is here. Like it's crazy, but yeah, it's like those moments do happen when you're like out with friends. Like you have to be like what? Like when I would go clubbing, like when I would notice, because so when I would go clubbing, you can feel, or I could feel the switch from NI to SE, because I would be like really anxious, and then all of a sudden, like I would like switch over. I don't know how. I would like switch over, and like I would feel like adventurous, and like I can talk to everyone, and it was so like natural, and I wasn't afraid. I wasn't socially anxious. I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just doing and trying everything. So it was like, yeah, and it creates those moments like you say, like, and it's everything is also a lot less meaningful. So it's like how an ESTP probably lives, like where it's all experience and less meaning. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I was saying like when I would, oh my God, my chair. Okay. When I would go out clubbing, it would be like, I would feel like,
Uh-huh.
introverted intuition is like intentional and deep and like thinks about things. And so I would be in that space and probably not having a great time. And then some point in the night, I would like switch over to SE where everything feels like spontaneous and natural. And I feel so in control. And instead of thinking about everything and contemplating everything, I'm just doing it. So it feels like I'm like an ESTP because they do and act all the time and they don't
Right.
contemplate the same
Mm-hmm.
way. So yeah, that's what I kind of think. In
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah, I felt that. Like, I remember when I was in Hong Kong, like 3 years ago, I think. And Hong Kong clubs are on another level. Like, I personally feel like after I went there, I just didn't really like any other clubbing experience. And so,
oh my God. Okay.
so I just didn't. I mean, now I actually don't club very often because I feel like as I grow older, I just need my sleep.
Mhm.
So yeah, beauty, sleep, and all that. So I don't really go to clubs anymore. And also because like I feel like it wasn't as good as it doesn't measure up to 2017. But anyway, so Hong Kong clubs really allowed me to, I guess, live in the moments for that short period of time. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy. I feel like I'm still an INFJ there, but at the same time, it's like because the atmosphere is so much better and the people there are also really attractive. That is another thing. I feel like I have a very shallow side as well. Like when I like when I see attractive people, I feel like that allows me to live in the moment.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's like this side of us that is like yeah, I'm gonna take it back to drinking. Like when I would be at the club, like I would notice I would get extremely shy. Like I am like the type of person where I'm like never talk bad about someone's appearance, like never do anything. And then I'm at the club and I'm like slapping myself on the wrist for some of these thoughts that I'm having, and I'm like,
Oh
oh
no,
my
it's
God,
like the ESTP person
yeah,
taking over.
like yeah, we're, oh my God, it's crazy. And then
I
it's like our spatial awareness gets better too. Like we are like I just can catch on to everything and maneuver and be flexible in all these situations, like in ESTP, like that what like we always say. But like yeah, it's like it's crazy when we can go into that around people um and I think like so when we're in this place we make so many moments and memories, and it's so interesting because I struggle, or I don't know if you do this because but anyway, so like I do this thing where like when I have a moment and like I like hold on to it and like I like contemplate it over and over. But when I'm in SE and I make like 10 of those moments in like 10 minutes and I don't hang on to them. I'm just like, oh, that's a moment. It's gone. Like
Yeah, yeah. We are able to kind of let go.
yes.
Um, but when we are in NI mode, we are not able to let go. And,
Yes. Oh.
and it takes forever. Yeah. So I feel like one sad thing though, is that NI I feel is like I guess it's getting slightly better, or maybe not, I don't know. Like, but in general, I feel like society is so much more shows so much more respect towards SE than NI. So I had this experience where I know that before college, I didn't really develop my SE, so it was like a very baby version. But after I developed my SE, I feel like people respect me so much more. Okay, maybe not like respect, but they just like in general, I feel like they treat me better. Um, and it's because SE is focused on things that are more like on the surface. I mean, to be honest, because it is about the five senses and all that. So because I started like dressing better and like taking more care of my appearance, and also like I guess being able to because I always was an adventurous person, but I guess I didn't really have that outlet when I was younger. So I went out a lot more when I got the chance to. But I feel like yeah, people really show a lot more respect when you show your SE, and and unfortunately, I mean I recognize that because I mean, if you look at the real world, right? If you look at celebrities, if you look at like influencers, the ones who have like the most number of likes and views or whatever, they usually have SE somewhere. If you look at the trend, I mean, like Kim Kardashian, for example. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
is a very I do see that SE in general is um firstly the SE behavior is more, I guess you can say like attention seeking, and also more likely to get more likes as a result. Um, but at the same time, it's like I feel like NI has so much to offer, and I I just feel like it's so if the world would ever see NI the same way as they see SE, but in a different like appreciation, obviously, then it would be so much more balanced out, I feel. Because NI is so underrated. That's
yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, yeah. I have so much I could say everything off of what you just said. Yeah. Like, yes, yes. Um, But you said, okay, yeah, so you said like it increases respectability. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. With me, like, so there's like the SE thing of like looking better, and that increases respectability. I also think like SE increasing respectability has to do with like the force you put out. So like
Mhm.
when you are more INFJs, we don't like to show our cards. And my like INFP friend, well, my EST, everyone's been giving me advice, whatever. And like part of the advice I've been getting recently has been to like tell people how I feel more. And it doesn't have to be this like huge drama of telling them how you feel. It's like this thing of like exerting what you want in the real world. And so so like let's say you're going to Burger King and you're like, I want a burger. Like you are making your presence known, and that then applies to like a bunch of different situations. And when you give people, when you show your hand, then it's like Wences always says, when you show your hands, then people can go something off of you, can go off of you and can like respect you. And like, yeah, I've been like telling people what I want more a lot recently. And like, I
Mhm.
feel like rude and I feel in their face, but that's what they need. And that brings so much balance and harmony to the relationship is when,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, everything. And then you said it's attention seeking. Yeah, like I've been admitting to myself that I am attention seeking. Like I keep and like because like what I'm always like, oh, like I don't need like a six pack and a car to like love myself. And then I get like in this anxiety thing where I'm like, oh, I need that power, right? I'm like power. It's crazy. I'm crazy, y'all. And so
I
like
know. It's
yeah.
the SE, I swear. It makes us crazy. Like, one moment I'm like, oh, it's okay if I don't look like an IG model. And then the next moment I'm like, oh my God, I need to work out and get like the line. I don't know what you call it, but for like females, it's like not really abs, but like it's like a line somewhere. But anyway, I'm like, I have this crazy moments where I'm like, oh, I have to like measure up to this, you know, appearance and number of likes and followers. But
Yeah.
then it's not like my priority in life, but it gets like, sometimes it just comes up.
Yeah, it's like it's stuck. We like suppress it over here, and then it like swings over, and then it swings back. Like it's like
Yeah.
you lash out sometimes. It's like, yeah, I get in those spaces. So I like have to do my like workouts and eat healthy so that I can like do something in the real world. So I feel like I care about those things. And then that normally, since we have inferior SE, doing that little step is what is able to stimulate me and make me feel better about the whole situation. Whereas, like,
Right.
yeah, if an ESTP wanted abs, they would go get abs. Like
Yeah.
they would not settle. Like they would, or an ESTJ, whatever you want to say. Yeah, and it's like that for TikTok too. Like when I'm in a certain mood, I love TikTok, and then like it's because I have it like on my phone and I'm always see it and I'm like, oh my God, this is so gross because it's like promotes these things that I don't like. And then when I'm in NI or then when I get in FE or SE and I'm in like a fun mood, I love it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just so fun. And then it's just I'm at war with myself. I don't know. I'm like on my
Same.
phone. Yeah.
I deleted TikTok actually, because strangely, the reason was because I was getting addicted to it. I mean, it's like a very weird addiction. It's like I hate myself when I was being addicted to it. So I had to delete it because it has like this obsessive quality. Like I would like be annoyed at many of the videos. But at the same time, I would also like love some of the videos. Yeah, and there are like a lot of crazy good looking people there. So you know they're not real. So better to get off the app in case it like influence your own beauty standards. But yeah, it's like a strange addiction. I don't know. I kind of really like. I mean, there's one thing that I don't like is that sometimes I find some of the videos really too simple and too annoying. Like it's just repetitive. But then other times they are like pretty good videos of people's outfits and dance moves, and I'm like, oh, I really like this. So yeah, it's very it's definitely conflicting, and I think that it functions. I mean, for people to be on it, like they have to use a lot of that because it's very action oriented, very appearance oriented.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, and it makes me like there's so much I could say about it. And I think the thing that irks me about it also is the false positivity. Like that really isn't healthy, and like to see kids so young like obsessing about it, like that is like so different from when we were in middle school. Like when I was in middle school,
that is definitely a
yeah,
problem. Social media in general.
yeah, yeah,
I think people just especially I feel like if people become like I don't know, like for people who only make happy videos on TikTok, that can definitely be an issue because they are like presenting themselves, and then it gets like addictive as well, the fame and all that. Like I see some guys, I mean some like famous TikTok guys I think they just got really addicted to like the female attention, and then now they're like acting like narcissists. Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna reply to every like heart message or something like that.
yes. I don't even know. Like yeah, like these. It's called like they call it. It's called thirst trapping, where yeah, and it's like it's so like it is the most like narcissist resembling thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, oh my god, and but I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Like it just seems so obviously unhealthy to me. And then like 30 minutes later I'll like enjoy it, but it makes me like fear those types of guys and girls. Like it makes me like if I was their friend, I feel like I'd be watching my back because like I don't they're going to go crazy. And I feel like these are the people who probably have breakdowns about what happens on their TikTok also like if some yeah.
For sure, because you have created like an image of yourself being like all perfect. And I feel like this is also a problem with SE. Like SE is very image oriented, and definitely I feel like people with strong SE also have those breakdowns because I do have friends who are SP types, and I notice. I mean, I know that obviously they are not as perfect as their Instagram or something like that. I mean, nobody is, but I think it's just more pronounced for SP types because they do so well in having this really good image, physically speaking. But there are definitely like other things going on in their lives that also need their attention.
Yes, I think yeah, like with ESTPs, I always get like squirrely or like uncomfortable when I see their social media. I know you have more experience with the ESFPs, and then I have like more. I know ESFPs, but I like have dealt more with ESTPs than ESFPs. But like when I see when I talk to ESTPs and we get along, I'm like, okay, like this is cool. And then I see their social media, and that's when I'm like, okay, this person has issues. Like that's when I start to get like the red flags going off. I'm sorry. This is about
Is
INFJ.
it male or female? Because I know an ESTP. I mean, I don't know her personally, but I know an ESTP like influencer
Mhm.
who definitely posted like obsessively of herself, and yeah, there's definitely some issues if someone is posting obsessively about themselves. Like
Yeah.
I mean, like every picture is like it's like them at a beach, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wrote up some like, yeah, I wrote up some notes on like how INFJ like popularity manifests differently if they're like a narcissist or an empath. Can I like read it? Like,
Oh
so
yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay,
that's
yeah.
an interesting point that I've never really thought about.
The
Uh,
INFJ narcissists.
I mean, I have
Mhm.
potentially met a few, but I'm not like entirely sure because their personality is kind of like I don't know if they're ENFJ or INFJ. Like it's a bit confusing for me. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I've dealt with a few like okay, yeah, I used to have like 5 INFJ best friends. And then like my INFJ best friend count has like seriously dwindled to like 1, which is kind of like a big deal because like for an INF the yeah, like so I have dealt with INFJ narcissists and like on the male and female side. It's like anyway, I'll just read it. So like the narcissist INFJ needs to be liked as a sort of requirement to meet
Mhm.
their needs, but does not genuinely care about the people that they surround themselves with. So their need to be like is like a status oriented thing where they like check off a box of like, okay, this person likes me. And then I said that the empathic INFJ needs to be liked as so they can fulfill their like subconscious survival mechanism. So this survival mechanism is underpinned by FE. It is a behavioral pattern where the INFJ feels like their security, survival, and safety are ensured when they demonstrate self-sacrifice and can be of any use to others. And then finally, I said the narcissist INFJ harbors inner destructive resentment and rage towards their peers. And the empath INFJ pushes away those frustrations and we like totally numb out ourselves and become like the world's biggest doormat. So like that's how I've come to see it manifest socially is like yeah. So it's like yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like the FE and SE loop, if you can call
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
So and those are like extreme situations. So
Mhm.
for I guess for like INFJ that is on the more unhealthy side, then they can either get likes from being like a people pleaser, or they can get
Mhm.
like from like appearing to be around people who are high status all the
Mhm.
time. Yeah, and I have seen both situations for sure. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. But you've never seen an INFJ narcissist? Like you would
I I'm not sure if he's
what are
INFJ or
you?
ENFJ. Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
but I am still like on the fence about his personality because he gives me like contradictory um vibes, and like the way he behaves in like a group of people, he seems pretty sociable, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I think yeah. It you really see like how like when the INFJ their popularity really a lot also when they affect the group, you can see like I think we talked about this like so when they lead, you can see like what they value and you can see like I think you can see their insecurities, but I think you can also see their authenticity. So it's kind of like what you said um like INFJs were so deep, so that is like a form of authenticity, I guess. And then like our insecurities can be a thing of like what I've seen with INFJs leading is like some INFJs like they really dominate. Well, any leader dominates conversation, but like the INFJs show what conversation topics are allowed and what aren't. So you can see like they're where they're not comfortable. But then like on the flip side, you can see like how INFJ, when we're popular, when we're leading, we can bring the entire group into a deeper place than like someone else would want to, I think.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think for
Mhm,
NI leads and I guess NI creative function as well, like as a second function.
mhm,
Um, but I think also I wanted to talk about how because we have the inferior SE going on, I feel like INFJs have this like power trip when we do get attention, and it's kind of like again it's like a swing. So sometimes
mhm.
I will be like, oh my god, nobody notices me, like nobody really appreciates me, and then I will get like random like messages from people, and then I'll be like, oh my god, everybody wants to talk to me.
I'm the same way. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, it's like an extreme swing again.
yes. Oh my God. I would be like, yeah, because I did like band and I did dance and I did choir and all of these things I did for attention. And like, I would always get like, I always got like so much of my self-worth from being like this special artistic creative person. And like, I lived for like the applause and I still do because I'm still like a musician, whatever. But like,
Like the Lady Gaga song here there.
yeah. Oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah, and it was like, yeah, we have those. My friend, my INFP friend, pointed out to me how like INFJs, we base so much of our identity based off. Oh my God, what is that? Okay, we base so much of our identity off of our external feedback. So like when we get a good feedback, we'll be like, oh my God, everything's good. And then when we get a bad feedback or no feedback, then we'll start thinking like, oh my God, we're lonely. We're not good at anything. Nobody thinks about us. Like we go to those extremes and like, oh my God, this video is all about extremes. I didn't even know. Like I knew I was extreme, but like, oh, like I feel like,
Yeah, it's really because of our FE and SE, and especially because SE is also like a function that is concerned with power. I mean, not in the same way that TE is, because TE is
mhm,
more concerned with like control,
yeah,
whereas SE is more like, you know, how society perceives you in a, you know, how like very easy way to put it is like, you know, how like in rap songs, because I know rap music uses a lot of SE. They always talk about like, oh, I'm the top dog, like, you know, I'm like this. I don't know what's the word they use, like some kind of hierarchy thing going on, and it's obviously referring to how society views them in like how much respect and also how much like admiration, you know, they get. And if you look at ESTPs, like they really want people to respect them and admire them. Like they don't need to control anyone, but they just need like admiration. I mean, that's why they do a lot of things that they do, right? Like, you know, perform in sports, look good and so on. And I think with INFJ it's like a hidden I mean it's like it's not something that we show to people, but it's like at the back end that we do crave that as well. And so that's why you see like sometimes also on YouTube, you know, if you know like prominent YouTubers who are INFJ,
wow, like me.
then
Kidding.
yeah, there is like this, not us because we are very small YouTubers, but you know,
Yeah.
there is this like I guess not so obvious desire for INFJs to also have this admiration, not just from random people, but just like from society, you know, on a
Mhm.
larger scale.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Like, oh, every like firework in my brain is going off. Like we have, I figured out that like INFJs, we have like the power plays. Like we, I don't even know how to describe this. We will like show our power in like subtle ways. Like once I was dealing with an ESTP, and well, actually two ESTP, like all the ESTPs that I know, like they are like to feel like they're running the show or whatever. And then one day, because they push us over the edge, one day with every ESCP that I have met every ESCP in my life, I will just like snap back at them and like put them in their place. Like it is like crazy, and they like it because they like it rough. But like, um,
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but like, yeah, like with ESTPs, there's always a point where I like snap back and I like have to feel in power. But like, okay, but you're talking about like this is taking over, and it's like, oh my god, yeah, yeah, it's like, yeah, INFJs will do those power play things.
Mm-hmm. We are not really that different from SE people. I mean, like sensing dominance. Even
Mhm.
though I guess a lot of people in the MBTI community don't really like to admit to themselves. But we do use extroverted sensing. It's just, it's just like at the back there lurking.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, yeah, and then it like comes up when we're like in stress. It's crazy. Yeah, it's always like, yeah.
Yeah, and I also feel like for I don't know if you are particularly like familiar with this, but like I feel like I can also relate to a lot of like SE movie characters, particularly the ones that are kind of somewhat popular, but also a nice person. Like I tend to like those characters a lot, and I think that that is kind of also the baby SE thing going on. Like if you look at my all-time favorite comedy, I guess you can call it a comedy. It's like Clueless, which is, I feel it's a very typical like extroverted sensing movie
Hmm.
and about popularity as well. But it's not like so mean. It's not like about control. It's just like a bunch of people having fun and dressing well and like yeah, just having a lot of adventures and attention.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So like with ESPs, although they fight all the time, so they have like inferior NI, so they have these like visions often of like of a community oftentimes that is free of like these like uh toxic like bullying type things. And so they even though like anyone can be a bully, but like they have like visions of those communities. So yeah, it makes so like extroverted sensing wants to be like a great fighter, but also has like can have like the heart of a pacifist, because fighting is not about like it's not about like murdering. It's like the sport of fighting. So
Mhm.
that can be like a
Yeah,
non, yeah,
competitive. Yeah.
yeah, it's like not malicious. It's just combative. Like, yeah, yeah, that's what it can be.
Yeah, and it's funny because whenever I see people in a movie like competes, like who dresses better, I find it so I just find it like so
Yeah,
energizing. I don't know. I just
yeah,
love watching those like,
yeah,
oh, I dress better than you. It's not like malicious, but it's just funny, I
yeah,
find.
yeah. Yeah, no, my brothers and I like competed like all the time growing up. Like we love like I love competition. I watch Dance Moms a lot, and that show is like all it is like so heavy comparison based. And like what like when I was younger and more immature, like what did I do? I was like obsessed with comparing everyone, and like I would always like say who was better than who. I was like terrible child. Like I was the worst. But like yeah, it was like it was crazy. And it's we get in those like obsessed with those competition things, I think because or what I found in myself is that I will like sit out a competition but then like judge the people doing it. Like I don't know, like we like to spectate and then not compete. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because SE is too weak for.
I know. Yeah, we can't do it. So like we'll watch you do it. Like we'll just everyone does that because not obviously not everyone does like a thing where it's like that.
Yeah, I guess like I'm thinking of a topic to end this video on. Do you have anything on your list?
Let me see what did I do. Um, I know an INFJ who is like she's not a celebrity, but she's like a borderline celebrity. And like I've known her for a long time. Let's say that because I don't want to like, and since she is famous, I don't want to indicate who she is. But like, so I know an INFJ who is like semi, not a celebrity, but like very big following in their life, and they have always had a lot of pressure on themselves. So like when we do put out like extroverted feeling and extroverted sensing to be popular, our NI is so idealistic that we can have these incredibly high standards. So that can be another way that we put pressure on ourselves to be popular, is because maybe we may not even be an extroverted sensing to be like power hungry. Maybe our NI just has these really high standards of popularity. And she was always like very reserved and like selective of who she would affiliate herself with. So like, yeah, that could be something. I don't know.
So how does she get the very huge following when she's also reserved?
She's multi-talented, and her like multi-talents are very talented. Like she's not jack of all trades, master of none. She is like master of everything. Everything. Like my
Wow.
yeah. And she wins like big competitions, I guess. Yeah, so it's like she manages it because INFJs we tend to get hung up on individual people, like one person or like a few people. And so
Yeah.
you can really see that when an INFJ gets super famous, is like um they have to like cut out a lot of people, I guess you could say. No, it's not that they cut out people, it's that they don't get close to everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an introvert thing in general. But people have this like again a bad stereotype that somehow introverts cannot be celebrities, and it's so not true.
It's
Because
so
there are so many introverted celebrities. I mean, it's like everywhere. I mean, they are not like you can tell because in interviews and stuff, they're more reserved, and also like they would talk about it about being an introvert and stuff. But yeah, like anyone can be. I mean, not anyone, but like introverts can definitely be celebrities, and because it is a form of branding anyway, like it's possible to brand yourself or others as a celebrity, especially when they have the talent and also I guess some of the looks for it. Um, but yeah, I feel like for INFJs, I guess it's similar for I guess most people, but for us it's like we do want to be liked for our true self. Like that is the innermost desire. Um but we also sometimes crave some attention to kind of um prove to us, I guess, that we are
yeah.
somehow like important. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about proving, like what Susan Collin or Keynes. She has like an introvert video, and she talks about how like she will go out and do something crazy just to prove that we can do it, just to like be like, oh yeah, okay, I can do that. Like I can go that far. Yeah, 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 and
And I feel like it is actually quite a huge part of who we are, even though I know there are some INFJs who are maybe not so obvious in their attention seeking behavior. But I feel like whenever I see, and also INTJs, I think, whenever I see INFJs and INTJs get attention, I feel like they are like on cloud nine or something.
yeah. No, okay, like yes, okay, like the INFJs and the INTJs, they're like so quiet about it, and like especially the INTJs, because the INTJs are like so like unreadable. I let's just say that because they're hard to read. But like, and then one day you'll like, some INTJs in my life. One day I like woke up and realized like this person is obsessed with how they look. Like this is a lot. Like, this is a lot. Like
Well,
it's a whole thing.
yeah, a lot of the INTJs I know are obsessed with how they look.
And everyone's obsessed with how they look, but it's like when you see the obsession in someone else, it looks like a lot because it's not you're seeing it from the outside. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they have the some of them have the SFP vanity going on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would say. With
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's time. Like, so
we've
this
reached
is
an hour.
talk. I just want like people who are, seeing the video to comment, like if they are an INFJ or INTJ or whatever other type actually, like, what are their experiences with popularity and whether they can relate to this points in the video. So comments below. And also remember to like and subscribe to both of our channels if you enjoyed this. And I will see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.